This video, I'm going to show you how I converted this 3-point hitch 40-gallon Fimco sprayer from an electric sprayer into a roller pump type setup. I'm going to take you through how I plumbed it and exactly how it's set up and show you how it works. This 3-point 40-gallon sprayer originally came equipped with about a 3.2 gallon. I upgraded that after our first year to a 4.5 gallon. Well, I noticed last year I was starting to get some leaks right here at this interface. I think this gasket was starting to expand. It sat in the sun. Then my pressure gauge broke off of here. Definitely time for an upgrade. I decided to take the opportunity to move away from an electric sprayer and move to a PTO roller pump. Disassembly was quick. All I had to take out was the 4 bolts here, take out the return hose, take off the intake. No problem at all. That electric pump unbolted right off of here, left us a clean slate to start installing this roller pump. For the intake connection, I came down here to what is the drain and drain plug for this tank here, and I actually put a quick connect to a garden hose. So that way I can disconnect it, drain out my tank. When I want to hook up the intake, all I have to do is put a quick connect here, nice, tight, solid fitting. These can be bought at Lowe's Hardware, just a quick connect fitting that screws right onto a standard hose. A couple people have asked about this high flow 4.5 gallon. It's been fine, but I would say if you're going to be spraying over an acre continuously, you probably want to step up to a roller pump. I was spraying an acre to about 1.25 acres, and this motor would really heat up. The wiring would heat up, the switch would heat up. We actually burned up a switch on Dad's tractor. So if you're going to be spraying over an acre, I'd recommend go ahead and upgrading beyond these more consumer residential grade electric pumps. They do make commercial pumps that would be good for that, but by the time you spend the money on a commercial pump, you might as well buy a roller pump. This is the roller pump. For those that don't know, it's basically a pump assembly that attaches to a PTO of the tractor. That way we can use the tractor PTO to power the pump system. We don't need a battery, we don't need electric, wiring, fuses, none of that. The tractor PTO drive is what powers the pump here. And I will go through the unboxing of that. I took some videos of that earlier. I will drop them in right here. But basically I unboxed it, figured it out, started doing some assembly, and I quickly realized I didn't have the parts I needed. So after 3 trips to Tractor Supply later, this is what I came up with here. One pro tip here, I was trying to have plastic come into this cast iron housing, and that was a no-go. This cast iron kept wanting to strip out the plastic. So I figured out it's much better to come in here with these metal fittings, send everything straight back. That way the plumbing doesn't hit your lift arms, your gauge doesn't hit anything in here. Come in here with your 90-degree elbows. Metal to iron was a much more compatible fit here. From there, then yes, you could use plastic fittings just like I've done for my T-fitting here. This roller pump is really simple. You got an intake. That's the hose that goes right up in here into the bottom of the tank here. I've got my bottom pickup here. Comes into the pump. It's even labeled, which is really nice. It says in. And then on the opposite side, you have out. So this is the outgoing side. It's going to go, of course, return the flow back to the pump. I have installed a T-fitting here with a pressure gauge. This is really, really important. You don't want to spray at too high a pressure. You'll blow your system apart. Likewise, your pressure doesn't want to be too low, but your nozzle tips will tell you that. The goal here is not to spray over 40 pounds. Most herbicides do not want to be sprayed over 40 pounds of pressure. Pressure gauge is really, really important to knowing what you've got back here. When you're looking at this thinking, well, you don't have a pressure regulator, how do you control your pressure? Let me go show you. So you follow the output hose all the way up here, come into a T-fitting. This is the business end for controlling pressure. Pressure regulators were $40. Well, a simple valve here, $10 at Lowe's. So what I've done is take the output hose into a T-fitting. This T goes off to the boom sprayer. That valve stays fully wide open. That goes from a 3/4 inch hose down to the 3/8 inch hose that feeds all the nozzle tips. That valve remains open. Before I added in the recirculating hose here, I had entirely too much pressure. With this open, that pressure reading was reading almost 80 pounds of pressure. It was entirely too much. So when I came in here, put the T-fitting in, ran here to another control valve and simply ran this return hose recirculator right back into the tank. This hole was already in the tank. If you didn't have one, you could just drill it out. So what I did then is I could just started wide open and I had no pressure at the boom. And I just slowly, gradually closed this until the spray fan was nice and even, and the pressure gauge read about between 20 and 40. It bounces around a little bit, but between 20 and 40 pounds of pressure. By using this nozzle here, I was able to create a pressure control valve and was able to save at least $30. I actually used the existing bolt holes from where the electric sprayer mounted here to run a bolt in here to secure this valve fitting here. And this has just got a return hose down into the tank here. And when I fire this up, you'll be able to see the flow we're getting at that hole there. So it's really, really important to keep your boom valve open when you're spraying. That'll be open entirely. We want to get as much flow as we can to that, going from 3/4 to 3/8. Got a lot of restriction right here. I would recommend having your return all the way open when you first start it. That way you can make sure everything's working properly before you put the flow to the boom. When this return is fully open, very little if no flow is actually going to go to the boom out there. So then we're going to slowly adjust this back until we get the spray width like we want it, until we get our pounds of pressure between 20 and 40 pounds. This 3-point sprayer has been modified. A lot of folks have been interested in the sprayer, so I'll take you through it one more time. The boom used to end right here. There were 4 nozzles on it. I believe a 10-foot total spray width. Well, I came in here, swapped these end ones out for a T-fitting, and added another nozzle to the very end of it, along with these aluminum L brackets here to support it. So I actually pick up over a 12-foot spray width on this 40-gallon sprayer, which makes for a really nice wide swath, especially when you're spraying over an acre field. So you can tell we've got us a really nice boom rig here. This 3-point sprayer is great. I like these arms collapse and fold in, make it really nice and compact inside the wheel wells here. But this is the full spread out. Got over a 12-foot wide spray pattern here. Let's fire up this PTO and show you that roller pump. All right, we've got our roller pump chained off here. It's really important so it doesn't twist. And you can see the PTO is engaged, the roller pump is turning, but we don't have any pressure. So we're going to throttle up the tractor, then we'll start adjusting our return valve, and that'll get our pressure going. You can see we don't have any pressure yet. But watch this, as we close this valve slightly, here it comes. I've got that valve about a 1/4 turn. You can see our pressure is starting to rise. We're at about 20 pounds. I'm going to bump it up a little bit more by closing it just slightly. Got a really nice even fan spray. Spray, bouncing between 20 and 40 pounds. You can see how wide this pattern is on the concrete. Really nice spray width. So there we have it. That's our PTO roller pump conversion from the electric sprayer to the PTO roller pump. You see this thing dripping right here? There's still some pressure moving through there. So if you want to cut that drip out, that is where you can come in here and use your valve here. Turn that cuts off all the flow, and it'll take out that drip. And I would remind you to always leave this return open in some sort. If you want to leave it set up where you're going to use it, that's a good idea, or leave it all the way open. That way you can't ever accidentally overpressurize the system. Because if you accidentally leave these two closed right here and you engage your PTO, something's going to blow. Let's say there was a little bit of residue left in this tank. This quick connect fitting from Lowe's is super helpful here. I could just disconnect the hose, drain off the last of the rinsate, clean out my tank here. When I'm done cleaning the tank, just come back in here, reconnect it, good to go for next time. One thing to note with the way I have this set up is I cannot see this gauge from the driver's seat. So ideally you would have that gauge mounted somewhere up here, put that T-fitting maybe right here where this is occurring, and I may in time swap that out. But for now, I was just getting a general idea of how this PTO roller pump's gonna work. I'm gonna try it for the first time. Who knows, maybe after the first run, I may replumb this thing. I'm not into it too deep minus the roller pump. So if I need to replumb it, won't be a big deal. This is the cast iron version. It's the more budget-friendly version from Agri Supply. I actually ran into a subscriber there. I cannot remember your name. I'm so sorry. Him and his dad were there shopping, and they were a huge help. They use this same little 6900 roller pump here to spray a big pasture. They said it works great for them. They said the key is to rinse out your glyphosate really well when you're done, and when you store it over the winter, store it with some hydraulic fluid or some kind of oil or antifreeze. Fill this system with something that help prevent corrosion. So this is not rated for glyphosate, but I was told as long as you take care of it, clean it out, that it should last. Quick and easy video on how I converted the electric pump system here to a roller pump PTO. The only other thing I may do here is come back in here and take this garden hose that I repurposed and actually put in some proper rubber tubing here. I don't know that garden hose is ready for herbicides, but really that's it. Out with the electric, in with the PTO. Next video, we'll be out in the field doing a burn down at the dove field. We'll be using this roller pump in the field, so make sure to check that out if this stuff interests you. But until then, we'll appreciate you guys watching. God bless. Take care.